we'll get started right now.
In the booth with FrankyNines and Cade. What's
Yeah,
good?
if you want to rap, okay, just do
if
that.
I want to rap, I'm not a rapper.
Rap a little bit. What do you mean? You said you said in an interview. You were like, no, we come out here, we rap, we hang out.
We rap. We make noise.
Make noise, right on. Okay,
we do things, man. I'm an artist.
Hell yeah. Hey man, anyways, it's a pleasure to meet you in person, and just thank you for coming on to the Joyage Kingdom.
Was good.
And guys, this is gonna be dope. I think everyone's good to go in the chat. Chat looks good to go. Appreciate everyone being in here, guys. Welcome back to the Joyage Kingdom. I'm Cade Dragado, but replacing the voice strategy for now, giving you a break from the constant internal monologue that is the human mind. I want to say first, thank you for listening or viewing on whatever platform you're on. If you haven't already, smash that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the channel. And follow me on Twitter. It's FrankyNines. I think our names are popped up on the screen here. Franky, dude, I guess I'll just do like a quick 2-sentence run through of you, because I feel like you've had to explain your whole life like so many times on podcasts. But I mean, I feel like we can condense it down to like, you've been in crypto forever. You're an OG artist. You've been doing the crypto tech branding, working with companies thing for a long ass time. You're one of the OGs in the space. I wanted to come in with not a curveball, but I haven't seen this question come up yet. What has it been like you just coming into the NFT space? You've got a solid dope project. People love it. You got Gary's support. I just found out that you've been working on projects level like Snoop Dogg, Family Guy. You worked on VFriends. You worked on these massive things that are totally outside of this NFT bubble that we're in still. What are those things that like, what have you learned from those kind of experiences that brought you into this Web3 NFT world that's kind of helped you out?
Well, let's see. I mean, it goes back to how my career started, right? So I went to school in San Francisco for web design, and I was working in Silicon Valley. So I started working for game companies and started building iOS apps. And I worked at Zynga, and that was like the first big web game. But I also was in like the app boom when I started building iOS apps. And I was selling digital content through those apps. I was like, breaking stuff. I was actually, I told this story yesterday to some homies that are over here at the studio, that like I was 2 doors down on Folsom Street from the guys that were making Instagram when Instagram was being built. We were all hacking on, trying to build iPhone apps. Yeah. And so like, I was in the right place at the right time early in the space. And when I was building apps that like blew up in the App Store, I had #1 charts. And when you have something that's top in the App Store and your email's out there, people start hitting you up, right? So like everybody started hitting me up. Next thing I know, I'm like in these meetings with Fox and Universal, and I'm doing stuff with Snoop and Stevie Aoki and Major Lazer and all that stuff. And so I got into it early. It's crazy though, because those connections lasted. Yeah, it's like all of that circled back. And so when I got into blockchain and crypto and NFTs in 2017-18, sure enough, boom, it's like, it's a kind of a boom of a new industry starts popping off. It's like, people start knocking on my door. They're like, yo, how does this work? Why is this working? And I'm like, all right, this is who you need to talk to.
Tell me how the hell you even got these jobs. Like, why are you so good? I don't understand. What the fuck? What do you mean? You're like, yeah, man, I do it, and it just goes to the #1 chart. I'm like, how?
I mean, growth hacking, I guess. I don't know. It's like growth hacking, style, aesthetic, working hard, concentration, focus.
Yeah.
Determination. I mean, it's all that motivational stuff that you can find in motivational Twitter posts.
True.
I mean, it's just like, like for me, what I understand, and I think people underestimate this, is that like true passion, the value is much brighter than, when something's created with pure passion, it shines brighter than something that isn't. And so if you're in there dedicated and passionate about a craft, or passionate about something that you're doing or you're creating, it's going to outperform something that isn't, right?
Yeah.
And, repetition of just being able to do that over and over and over and over and over and over, it's there is recipes though. Don't get me wrong. Why do you think certain musicians have hit after hit after hit, right? Mm-hmm. It's because they know how to manufacture hits. Like they know how to do that, right? There's certain artists that know how to like manufacture. They know how to paint a certain way, because every single drop they do is a hit, right? Like
Yeah.
there's recipes to it. You know, it's like it's not all just like free explosion of creativity. There are recipes, but you know.
What is that passion, by the way? Like, where does that come from? And like, because I know I've on a couple of interviews, you're talking about where SubDucks kind of came from. They're like, you're in my head, and now they're out here, and sup. And I was like,
Yeah.
but where does that passion, like drive, come from to where you do become? You don't just get to the top. Like, there has to be something, or is it one of those things where you're like Elon Musk, and you're like, no, I just want to do that. I'm just gonna do it.
That's a good question. I mean, I think it's for me, it's with SubDucks specifically because again, like I worked in the gaming industry. I built iPhone apps. I had top chart apps. I built and launched games. I've done a lot of tech. I've never really done anything around like a cartoon, right? And so like SubDucks is like my first like it's like there's different paths as a creative or as an artist that you can take, right? It's like I want to become a painter and I want to paint, or I want to be a designer, I want to design, I want to become a musician, I want to do this, I want to do that. I'm like, well, I learned tech and I learned how to build games and I learned how to make fun things and I learned how to build businesses and I learned how to become an entrepreneur and build business. Now I want to exploit all of my skills that I have into doing something completely side wing. And it's like, I want to make a cartoon. And it's like, maybe I want to make a cartoon. It's like, maybe I want to also make music for that cartoon. Maybe it's like, I want to explore all these different things that are like multifaceted with the understanding of like, before most people think the only way that you can get that done is you have to magically get blessed by Hollywood. You can do all of that yourself. Right? I'm like, I want to have an iPhone app. I have to know iPhone developers and I have to hire an agency and have hundreds of thousands of dollars. No, you don't.
Yeah.
There's free videos on teach you how to code. How do you do it? I want to make an NFT project. I need to know blockchain developers and I need to have this and that and that. No, you don't. There's tutorials in GitHub and all that stuff. So it's like, using the skills to power and fuel and build and create.
Hell yeah, dude. Has that kind of mindset been built through your whole life? Have you been that way since like middle school, or were you like out here like conquering the fucking soccer field because you were like exploring it and like finding ways to get in and out, or like?
Nah, man, I got kicked out of high school.
Did you?
I was kind of like a little bit of a kind of a little bit of a bad kid. I was just like, I was more interested in drawing and painting and trying to figure out how to make money than I was in school. It wasn't until I realized that because I came from kind of, I don't want to call it a broken home, but I came from like, not the classic white picket fence home that everybody thinks of when they think of like people that grow up in America, especially in California. So like for me, it was like, as soon as I was able to grow up and understand that I can make my own money and create my own path in life, I took it and ran with it. Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
Same shit with me. I worked a couple jobs at a college, and I was like, "Fuck, this sucks. This is horrible. Like, there's no way I could do this more than like 1 or 2 years." And so I just couldn't do it. I went on a trip, lived in my car for a while, just traveled, saw stuff, had anxiety, fucking watched Gary Vee.
yeah.
Well,
Exactly.
yeah. What was that like, by the way? What was working alongside Gary Vee? What was that environment like?
It was bananas.
Was it?
I mean, so like coming from the tech industry and entrepreneurial space, like I had seen Gary Vee before. Like I never really like watched his content. I built a project for Tony Robbins. So I knew the influencer kind of like, that was like during the part of that, because again, 10 years ago, a decade ago, there wasn't this concept of influencers on YouTube and TikTok, right? There wasn't people helping people guide things. It's like you'd read a book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, And so like I had known who Gary Vee was, but I never I never was like, oh, I never, went down the rabbit hole and watched all his content. And then, I got put on the project, I met him. And so when we met, it was just kind of like, it was real fresh. And I think that was really cool.
Oh, that's cool. That is cool.
I think it was because I wasn't like a super fanboy, like, oh, I'm gonna go work for Gary Vee. Like, so I was just like, all right, who's this cat? I want to figure out who he is, why he's got so many followers. And then from there, I was like, holy shit, this dude is actually a fucking G. Sorry, my language. He's like actually amazing. And I've had a lot of clients. I've worked with a lot of designers. I've worked with a lot of managers. and his input, his feedback, his direction was just on point every single time. And I've never worked with someone that had that much efficiency in game to just make something better. And I was just like, oh, snaps. And so like when we put our powers together, me on the creative side and him on the, business logic side, it was just like boom.
Jesus.
And it was tight. I mean, I gained a huge, I can't even like express how much respect for him and his team and how he runs his business just based off of that. Because again, it's like I didn't even know, I wasn't even really didn't even really know much that about him. And then I got to work with him and I was like, oh snaps, this is the real deal.
Man, that is crazy, dude. How much is that has that experience? Because VeeFriends launched pretty early, right? That was before SubDucks.
VeeFriends, I want to say dropped in, when was that? That was like
early summer, right?
Yeah.
June, July, maybe. I don't know.
So I did SubDucks after VeeFriends.
Yeah.
And VeeFriends went out in July. So I think it was May, because we wanted to release on May 5th.
Okay.
On his birthday, I think.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, I do remember him saying that. Man.
Yep.
Do you still talk to those people? Like, I imagine it's so busy. Like, do you know like the guys from like Doodles? They were on Dapper Labs too, I think, or maybe I don't know if you worked with them or not.
Yeah. Evan and Jordan.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
dude.
I mean, the thing is like working with them, like I shoot texts here every once in a while, sometimes in Discord, sometimes in DMs, like, yo, sup, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
What are you working on? What are you guys, what's cracking? I think for me, it's like, it's like we all get like a high school reunion each time one of these conferences pop up.
Yeah.
It's like NFT NYC. It's like, yo, we're all in the building. Like I'm planning to see everybody and crash some parties in Denver in a couple of weeks, like.
Wait, you're coming to Denver?
Oh yeah, eat Denver, man. I've been there twice. I won the 2019 hackathon.
Let's fucking go. I live like an hour south of Denver. What's up?
Yeah, eat Denver. Yeah, I won one of the gaming hackathons. I didn't go on the main stage, but I did win one of the hackathons for building a game. Got some cash flow back in 2019. So eat Denver for sure. Of course, I'm rolling up.
That is awesome. That is super cool. I did want to ask a question. There's a couple questions I know that someone had asked over Discord or something, and they were wondering, and I was wondering this too, because I didn't really like give it any thought until he brought it up, and he was like, is your last name 9?
Is my last name 9? No.
Yeah, like what's the 9? That's so random. You could have done the number.
No, my first company, my first alias when I became an entrepreneur was 99 Cent Brains.
Okay.
And the reason why is because before that I had a website called 25 Cent Brains that I got from a picture that I found that was like a old antique like picture thing. I was like, oh, that's cool. 25centbrains.com.
Yeah.
Well, when I released my first app on the App Store, I had to register a company name. I went to go register to link up my domain 25 Cent Brains, and it was $60 and I couldn't afford it. So I was like, I need to come up with a new one. So I was like, shoot, what should I do? I was like, all right, well, 99 Cent Brains. And I bought it for $9 or $6 or something like that. Then I had 99 Cent Brains, made the Twitter account, made the Instagram, made all that. After all of that goes through and I build my portfolio, build my apps, sell my company, do all that stuff, start branching off, start going back into like Franky mode where I like start doxing myself and being like, oh, guess what? I'm the guy that's been doing all this whole time. I was like, well, what do I call myself? Franky 99 Cent Brains? FrankyNines. And I was like, this kind of sounds like some I don't know, like little street rat Italian.
Yeah, I was about to say it's exactly what it sounds like.
Franky 9 Fingers, it's like
hell yeah.
One,
Hell yeah, I love it. That's awesome. That's super fucking cool, actually.
So that's where it came from. But no, my last name isn't Nines. Maybe I'll legally change it one day. Is it Snoop Dogg's name Snoop Dogg?
Fuck yeah, I don't know actually. Dude, what's his name? Yeezy or not Yeezy? Fuck.
No,
Kanye. Didn't Kanye change his name or something like that recently?
Changed his name to Ye. I changed my name to FrankyNines. I think it's kind of tight.
I think people would be down with that.
Dude.
We got 9s in the chat right now.
says 9s on my face. I got it tatted on my face, so it's real. It's the real
yeah, dude,
deal.
You got a solid little set, or not even a little set. You got a lot of fucking tattoos. You got them everywhere. What was it like on your like head? Because I've got them on my fingers. I've got them on my hands, on my arm a little bit. But you're covered. You got the whole thing. What was how's this part? The face part? Did that hurt?
No, it wasn't too crazy. Neck is uncomfortable. I just finished up my back. I'm gonna start. That's why the sides of my head is shaved, just because I'm gonna start knocking these out.
Hell yeah!
Go down the back of the neck.
You got any
But
ducks?
yeah, I'm pretty much blasted. No ducks yet. I need a duck.
Really?
I do have a V friend though.
Which one is it?
I have the eager eagle tattooed on my rib cage.
That's fucking awesome. That is tight. That is really cool. Does he know? Does Gary know that you got that?
Yeah.
Oh man, I bet he was so pumped. That is
I was
so
like,
funny.
hey, this is history. We made history. Boom, look, I got it on the ink. I got it on the flesh.
Man, that is fucking funny. Well, what you were saying about your nines a second ago, how you were like it's kind of like a street swagger. You've got the swagger, whatever it is. You know, you're like you've got some kind of massive extra swagger thing. Does that come from the skill you picked up from, or not the skill, the experience you have working with these big names? Like you can't walk out of a room with Snoop Dogg and not be 12 times cooler than you were before you met him. You know what I mean? Like, is it those experiences that have built the swagger? If you had it, have you been that guy since middle school who's just had that swagger?
I mean, I went to school like Northern California with Northern California Bay Area culture. Went to college during the hyphy movement. You know, it's like when you start out that young,
Yeah.
like, you know, taking field trip. I was born in Southern California, taking field trips to the Highland Desert, going to swap meets with all my cousins are bald, wearing Dickies and Chuck Taylors, like, you know, like Hispanic Latin culture, like it's just ingrained in my blood. The funny part is when I walk up with this swagger and I go into board meetings and I'm like, yo, what's up? I'm FrankyNines.
Yeah.
Let's do this. That's the funny part.
Dude, that's gotta be great actually. You walk in like a t-shirt or something, or like a three-piece suit.
I mean, I just roll in how I roll in.
That's awesome. That is super cool. I had a question about back in 2017. So you said you've been working in like the tech and just fucking all the stuff way back in the day, but you got into crypto and NFTs pretty early too. Why did people get in back then? Because I didn't get in that early, so I can't put myself in the mentality of anything other than being in 2017, hearing some kids say something about Bitcoin and me saying that's that thing people buy drugs with, right? Like that's all I knew. That's 99% of people.
So interesting. That's actually a really good question to like figure out. Like, okay, what if I went back in time? Like the reality is, like I have wallets that I don't have the seed phrases and private keys to that own hackatos and different things like that.
Oh,
like
man.
I was buying NFTs, testing these platforms on known origin and things like that, and I was using it because I was still a developer. I was like, I'm just figuring out the tech. Like, I don't know if this is going to become anything, but no. You know, like I think what it was for me, because I came from the gaming industry, Zynga and selling, you know, making sticker apps and understanding like how content, UGC, those kind of like mechanics work, that like when I got into the space, because there was a cash prize hackathon.
Okay.
Right. And a buddy of mine was like, hey, you want to enter this hackathon? All we have to do is design this thing and we'll win like 20 grand. And I was like, let's go. Like, why not? Sure.
Yeah, hell yeah.
It was for an Ethereum wallet. So I designed an Ethereum wallet. Then I learned about like, I was like, Ethereum, okay, what is that? Like I knew what Bitcoin was, exactly what you said. It's like people use it on the dark web. But I was like, Ethereum wallet, okay, let me understand this. So I started researching more because I had to design a wallet. I was like, well, what is Ethereum? How does it work? So I had to figure all of that out. And in that, I started learning about the different token protocols, the different types of tokens. And I started seeing the very beginning of what became the ICO boom in 2017.
Holy shit, that's crazy. You were just watching it happen. That is crazy.
I was working because we won the hackathon.
Right in there, yeah.
Yeah, I won the hackathon, got the job, and was flown out to London. So I was working in the UK. And when I was out there, like we were seeing all these projects pop up, and like I'm talking early days, like this, 2017, everything from like Storage, Link, Chainlink, like some of the really early projects, Pillar, like really really early projects. Everybody was on my Ether wallet. We're trying to figure out how to buy and sell. Next thing we know, gas is fucking it explodes, and we're like, why is gas so crazy? And they're like, everyone's freaking out over these kitties.
Oh my God.
And when I saw it, I was like, I know what that is. I was like, I know exactly what that is. I know how that was made. I know how they did it. I just connected the dots, and I was like, holy smokes. So I went to their website, applied for a job, and boom, I ended up working for Dapper for 2 years.
Damn. What do you think when you because I'm gonna take a wild shot here and say probably 3 people who are founders of projects have the same type of perspective or same level of perspective because of the experience you've had. What are you looking at when you're looking at other projects, founders, like, because you have all this experience, because you grew with the space and you built it literally, like you literally built it, helps build it and stuff. And you watch these new projects come in, maybe derivatives, you see projects that are very similar. They're copying what the SubDucks did 2 months ago because it worked for them. Like, what is your thought process there? Like, is there hope for these people or?
I think it's good. I don't see anything wrong with that. I think there's one. I do believe that this technology and opportunity here is set up for the next generation of entrepreneurs, right? Like, I was in the web gaming boom and the mobile boom, the 2.0 boom. Like, I saw, I had Facebook when I was in college. Not saying I'm like a rinkety-dink old man or anything, but like, I had Facebook when you had to have a college email to use Facebook, right? Like, I was there, like I saw that. And so my opportunity that I bid into when I was in my 20s was building iPhone apps, and I hit the top charts of the App Store, and I was monetizing. I was making $40,000-$50,000 a month. Like, I was like, I'm a content creator, whatever. So I think the way I see it now is this new platform technology is a new opportunity for that next generation of those people that are in their 20s and doing that, right? Even though the demographic, from what I've seen largely in this space, is older. The collectors and the people that are really throwing the cash around, we're like really banging it on, like, buying stuff is a lot older. The opportunity, though, and where I see, the spark in what is possible is that next generation. Those kids that were still in middle school, high school when I was in college, that are now like in their 20s being able to build things and become the next generation of entrepreneurs. So I think it's great. I don't really bag on anything that's like copying or derivative art. I do still, like, I don't like biting. I still, it's like, it's like, if you're creative, come up with your own thing. Like, you don't have to copy, be influenced, be inspired, but you don't gotta steal. But I think the opportunity is open for anybody. It's open for everyone. And I think it's really just a matter to see who can last and who can stand strong and who can stay loyal and who can keep their word as a bond.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've heard from just people who are doing shit right and just like having success, is like the answer is just to continue to just persevere is literally the answer every time. There's no secret. I remember like growing up in middle school, high school, trying to figure out what the answer was, and every time I watched it, they said the same answer, and I was like, no, that can't be it. There's got to be another one, and there has to be. And in the NFT world right now, I think, especially the kids right now who are trying to flip and make money, I think they come in with the idea and expectation that you buy picture and you sell picture and you make 100 ETH. I think that's literally the thought process of them, because, well, I know it is because I see them come into the Discord and that's literally what they ask. But it's a strange, like, trading in that same market with them. Like, are you trading? Are you flipping? Are you like in and out? Are you a DJ at all, or not so much?
I try to. I do it not for the wins. I do it for just so I know what's going on.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense. Like, I miss opportunities all the time. I make very bad buys all the time just because, like, I don't play this. I'm not playing this game to try to win everyone and be like, I got the most ETH out of everybody, I'm now the winner. Like, I play the game because I'm like, okay, I need to get burned 5 times and I need to make like a couple good good flips because I need to do this so I can understand how people are using this. Like, I try to put my mindset in all of the users, right? Like, I would probably be the same if all the ETH that I had today was 0, if it was 100 or 1,000, right? Like, I would still be operating the same way. So for me, it's more just about understanding and being flexible to put myself in the shoes of the user, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. I mean, that's kind of the way I looked at it too. I looked at every loss as like, okay, well, I'll fucking never do that again. I'll never buy a Halloween project after Halloween. That will not happen again. You know, it's just stuff you can't know until you've gone through it. And I'm sure you've gone through like the crypto crashes, like, and every time there's a new cycle of people and they come in and they say, what do you mean there's a bear market? And you're like, well, like, yeah. You know, it'll happen at some point, and you know, you keep doing that and all that stuff. But dude, the NFT world is absolutely nuts. I have one question from, I totally forgot to write their at. My bad about this one. This one's totally curveball to what we were talking about, but this is for the SUPDUCKS coming up. I guess this question was like, how do you get it? Is it going to cost? Is it going to be a free airdrop? Is there a gamification of it, or how's that going to work for like SubDucks future, I guess?
On the VX ones, that is more of a question for Strunk. He's leading that up. I believe from where we last left off, and I don't want to say anything that isn't official, is I believe that there's a claim mechanism, and then we might do an additional mint of new traits.
Okay.
So that way that like everybody that has a duck can turn their duck into a sandbox or into a VX model. And then I think there's also going to be like an additional set. I'm not quite sure exactly yet though. Okay.
Well, that's actually a great segue, because my next question was literally going to be like, what is your exact, when you roll up in the studio and you're like, what's up? What do you do? You go to the iPad, or like, what are you doing most of your days?
Me? Yeah. Right now I am focused on the stream, the content, putting together the pitch deck that encapsulates like the entire story and like how I'm building the cartoon using the community. And like what we've been doing each week is we've been building out a storyboard for the one episode that we're going to then get produced. So like all the funds of all the paintings that I paint at each stream are going in, they went into a safe. And so then we're going to go to an animation studio and we're going to be like, all right, here's the cash, here's the storyboard, here's everything. Turn this into a cartoon episode, and then I'll release it. And then once I have that proof of concept, then I can take that to a big network. So I'm focused on that right now. I'm also in the background, aside from that, preparing for the Enlightened Duck feature, which we have the animation system done, and we were just finalizing the tokenomic mechanic there. So I'm also looking at, I have to start another set of artwork for that. So for me, it's a lot of art. And then also, you know, like I have calls and meetings and press and interviews and things like that. And then as well as like, you know, trying to do my 100 push-ups a day, and you know, like trying to, you know, you can't eat too many pickles in one day. You can't, like, you gotta like, you know, you gotta sometimes you gotta get green juice in you. You know, eat your bananas and have some apples. You know, apple a day keeps the doctor away, type of thing. You know, carrots are good. Carrots keep your eyes clean.
Damn, dude. So I didn't even know. You know, I didn't have a segue word there, so I was just, all right, damn.
Yeah, I had to throw that at you. Damn, dude. You're talking to FrankyNines, man.
That's super cool. Well, dude, honestly, I've never interviewed someone just fucking like, you're cool. It's just awesome. It's cool.
You're cool
it's
too,
dope. It's dope to do. It's hard to get that sometimes with interviews, especially because we only had 30 minutes, so I just wanted to like hit the ground running. You know what I mean? So it's not like normally, you know, sit and like talk for a second or so, but dude, it was a fucking pleasure to have you. I feel like we talked about a bunch of shit. I feel like we got into some of the weeds. We got some of the questions answered that some of the ducks had. I wanted to say the last thing was the thing about the TV show you were saying is that's literally like, before I knew you guys had a show, that's what I was like yelling at everyone about. I was like, projects need to have some kind of content, because one, that allows you to procrastinate a little bit and gives you time. Like Gary Vee bought 3 years basically by saying VCon for 3 years. Like he buys himself time. And so I'm like, yo, you guys need to make content. You guys need to make content. You got to do something extra here to provide value or something. So it's fucking awesome that the SubDucks are doing that.
No, that's been the, I mean, before, when I was at Dapper, I was painting part-time. And I was painting and making TikToks, and I blew up and got verified and got like 50,000 followers on TikTok. That's why that's why my YouTube is so crazy. My personal
is that really? Okay.
It's because I was just painting and making painting videos, and I would do that every night, and then I would, you know, during the day I'd be doing pitch decks for Dr. Seuss and UFC and NBA Top Shot, and then I'd be painting, and so like that was my workflow, and so I blew up. So I got a pretty good hand in making content.
Yeah.
And you know, I think again, I'll take this to the grave. Like, what separates SUPDUCKS from any other project that's out there is like, we are homegrown in LA. The focal center, birthplace of entertainment, right?
Yeah.
Like, Walt Disney made Mickey Mouse in California. Like, I'm making SUPDUCKS here. Like, this is, you know, outside of, you know, all the other projects, like that, I am taking that to the, like, that is what's in my mind, is that those are the advisory angels around me, watching me, guiding me through this. Is like, I have Walt Disney on my back. I have, you know, like, I have the Hollywood creators of, you know, like, I could see the Hollywood sign, you know, just up the street. I'd go and I could see it from the hill. Like, this is LA SubDucks. Like, what we're doing here is like, I'm growing it out through that way. So I'll leave you with that.
Bro,
I gotta jump. I got a cleaning lady to come wipe up this office. See this neon sign? SubDuckaronis.
SubDucks. All right, guys. Hell yeah. Hey, thank you so much for your time, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys later. Until next time, continue your Joyage, continue all the things. Goodbye. Peace.
Adios.
See you later.